Welcome here to Carthage, Tennessee. It's Smith County and Westmoreland in the District 6 AA battle. Of course, Smith County got the win yesterday, 13-5 up in Westmoreland. And now the Owls with freshman Case Collins will be on the mound for the Owls. The catcher will be Ty Martin. He's number 14, outstanding football player for the Owls. And the leadoff for the Eagles, who come in 0-4 overall, 0-1 in the district, is Landon Donahoe. He is the shortstop. Temperature mild. If the wind don't blow, we're going to have a good day. Collins' first pitch belted by Donahoe deep into center field, and it's over his head. And he'll be in with a stand-up double as Donahoe laces the first pitch into center field for the stand-up double. Outstanding lick by Donahoe. Had one hit, I think, yesterday. Smith County got on their horse out there, but just couldn't track it down. In center field was Bennett Gammon, the sophomore. So stepping in is Austin Neal, the third baseman. Bunt situation, tries to get the bunt down and fouls it off. 0-1 your count, no outs, no score here in this opening half inning. Of course, we play 7 from here in Carthage. This field probably, I don't know, 8 or 10 year old. They used to play over at Crump Parish, but not anymore. Got their own field, no lights, however, as the breaking ball outside for a count of 1-1. Neal, a third baseman, steps back in for the Eagles. Pitch on the way, down and low, 2-1. The Eagles went 0-3 last week from what I looked at. They went to Gulf Shores, played in a tournament, and then they lost yesterday to Smith County, the only Tennessee team that they played thus far. Collins' next pitch is nubbed out towards shortstop. He charges, throws to first base in time for the out. So the runner moves over to third on the ground out. That'll leave one out for Cooper White, the second baseman, coming up for the Eagles, trying to get on the board here in the top of the first. Smith County led 5-4 after 3 innings and then went on an 8-1 run after they scored in every inning but one, did the Owls yesterday, in 6 of the 7. Good block by Martin there on the breaking pitch from Collins. 1-0 your count. Cooper White, the batter, second baseman for the Eagles. Collins gets a sign, comes set, just a little bit low, 2-0. 1 out here. You're watching NCTV, Channel 97. Glad to have you along. Westmoreland trying to break on top in this district battle, and that is pounded out to right, and that will be caught, tag up, but he's going to get there in time. So sacrifice fly on a line drive by Cooper White to the right fielder will bring home the first run of the game after the leadoff double. 1-0 Westmoreland. That ball was hit on the button, but I think that was Caden Powell. Let me check. Yeah, that was Caden Powell, the freshman that hauled it in, but couldn't get the runner gunned in. And then stepping in for Connor Johnson will be for the Eagles, the designated hitter, wearing number 22. 2 outs, nobody on. Top of the first. Next one upcoming, fouled off behind us. Owls coming in 4-0 as they have beat Gordonsville twice. They beat them 9-2 here, beat them 9-7 at Crump Parish, won 4-1 at Murfreesboro, Oakland, and then beat Westmoreland yesterday 13-5. This ball lifted foul, way out of play down the left field line. Sets up a 1-2 strike count. Batting, Connor Johnson, the designated hitter, for the catcher, which is Jackson Patton for the Eagles. Collins comes set. 1-2 pitch, curveball, nubbed out to third, scooped up. Bradley throws it across in time for the third out of the inning. 1 run on 1 hit for Westmoreland after a half. The Eagles lead it 1-0. You're watching NCTV. And welcome back. We head to the bottom of the first for Smith County. Due up, Kylan Johnson, the junior left fielder for the Owls. He'll be batting right-handed. Glad to have you along here in Carthage for Westmoreland Smith County baseball. Kyler Abell, the pitcher for Westmoreland. First one, high and tight. 1 ball, no strikes. Owls really had trouble yesterday finding the strike zone. They had 9 walks in the game. Bennett Gammon went 3 innings as Johnson hits it out to the shortstop, picks it up, throws it across in time for the out. Registered 6-3 on the put out. First out of the inning. Gammon went 3 innings, had 6 walks. He was lifted for Ben Mims, who pitched the final 4 innings and got the win for the Owls in the 13-5 victory. Bennett Gammon, the sophomore center fielder, at the plate, batting left-handed. First one hit on the ground to second baseman. Picks it up in time. So 2 up, 2 down for the Eagles. Ground out 4-3. Second out of the inning, Ty Martin, the junior catcher, checks in for the Owls. Of course, Martin has home run power. He's got size, and I've seen him go way deep right here on this left field. In fact, he's hit it about his license plate, sitting way out there in left field. Abell realizes his power. He had a double yesterday, he did, Martin, as he throws that breaking ball in the dirt, 1-0. 2 outs here, bottom of the first. Owls trail it 1-0 to Westmoreland. Abell, next one a little bit high. It's going to set up a count of 1-1. Of course, we play 7 innings. These 2 teams meet twice, and then they'll play, I think, 1 more time. There's only 4 teams in the district. That's Cannon County, Watertown. Watertown, the defending Class AA champion, Westmoreland and Smith County. They play each other home and away on Monday and Tuesday, and then late in the season, on a Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, they play each other a 3rd time. That pitch is down the middle, so that's going to be a count of 2-1. Abell readies. This pitch is hammered out to left field for a base hit for Ty Martin. He'll be aboard. Caden Powell, the freshman, checks in for Smith County as a courtesy runner, checking in for the Owls, and that's going to be number 21. And I'll get the roster out, and that is going to be, I'm sorry, I don't have a number 21 on the Owls roster. Well, that's Wyatt Claywell. Yeah, he's wearing number 10 on the roster, but he's 21 here today. So he'll be the courtesy runner. You can do that for the pitcher or the catcher. So stepping in, Powell, the freshman, left-handed batter. He committed earlier to the University of Kentucky. Pretty high accolades for the outstanding freshman who had an outstanding season for the Owls, running for nearly 1,000 yards and passing for 1,000 yards, as Claywell out at second on the stolen base attempt, caught stealing. So that'll be the 3rd out of the inning after 1 complete. Westmoreland leads it 1-0. You're watching NCTV. And welcome back here, top of the 2nd inning. Kyler Abell, the pitcher who went unscathed in the top of the first, steps in for the Eagles. He's wearing number 3. Case Collins on the mound for the Owls. Breaking pitch in there for strike 1. 0-1 your count. No outs here. Top of the 2nd. If that wind will stay down, me and Desmond will love it. Collins once again gets the Ty Martin. That ball's hit hard by Abell, and it is gone. Abell, a blast to left field, a home run over the left field fence, and gives Westmoreland a 2-0 lead. Westmoreland only had 5 hits yesterday, but they've already got a double and a home run, and they've tagged a couple more balls hard. So it's going to be a 2-0 lead for the visiting Eagles. Coming in 0-4 is Collins is going to peel out to second base, and they said no, he touched it. Ethan Crockett didn't think that Abel touched the bag, but umpire said he did, and that's the one that counts. It's 2-0 Westmoreland. Colby Warner, he got the loss yesterday on the mound for Westmoreland. He steps in, he's first baseman, taps it out to Crockett. Crockett quickly to first base in time for the out. First out of the top of the second for Smith County. Cade Perry playing left field, wearing number 21. The Eagles in their gray uniforms, gray pants, gray shirts, red numerals. Perry fouled this one off. That one got a piece of the catcher, Ty Martin. Not sure where he hit him, but you could tell, you could hear the meat pop. And Martin going to talk it over with Collins and try to walk this one off. Not sure where it got him, but heard the meat pop on the foul tip off the bat of Cade Perry. And being a former catcher, those hurt. There's nothing you can do about it because you're only 2 foot from a pitch that was fouled off. So Martin settles back in. 0-1 your count. 1 out here, top of the second. There is a fastball on the outside half. No balls, 2 strikes. Collins ahead in the count. 1 out here in the top of the second. Collins pitch, swing and a miss. So that's going to be the second out of the inning. So it'll be Grant Lilly stepping in, the center fielder, in the 8th spot for the Eagles. Collins settled back in for the Owls. His team trailing 2-0. Collins pitch, foul back, straight at us. Goes through the netting. That hole that I told Desmond wasn't going to go through, it got close. There's a little square hole for them to stick the baseballs through, and it just missed it. Collins breaking ball outside. 1 ball, 1 strike to Grant Lilly, the center fielder for the Westmoreland Eagles. Owls in their white pants, black jerseys, white numerals. Collins, next one a little bit low. It's going to be 2 balls. No, he called that a strike. He said he swung. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Westmoreland's baseball or head baseball coach, I assume he's at third base. He's the one that came for the coaches meeting. They're going to call it a strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 2 outs here, top of the second. Collins. Curveball's a nice one. 3 outs. Owls trade it 2-0 after 1.5. You're watching NCTV. And welcome back. We're going to the bottom of the second, and Caden Powell, who was out when they threw the pinch runner, Wyatt Claywell, out at second base. He was 1 in, so he steps in with an 0-0 count. Kyler Bell, the pitcher, and this is grounded by the first baseman. Goes out into right field for a single. Powell going to try to stretch it for 2, and he's out. He sure is. Tried to stretch that into a double, and he was thrown out. So that's a put out 9-6. So the Owls get a single, but here's going to be Hudson Graber wearing number 1. He's actually, thought he was number 4 on the roster. I'll check that in just a minute. This ball is a strike on the outside half. And Graber is listed 4 on the Owls roster, but 1 today, and he grounds it right at the second baseman. Owls not being very patient at the plate, and Graber will ground out 4-3. So the Owls have had 2 runners thrown out at second, and with 2 outs here in the bottom of the second, Ethan Crockett, the senior second baseman, steps in for the Owls. Owls tried it 2-0 here in the bottom of the second of this 7-inning affair. coming set and throwing it just a little bit low is Kyler Abell, the pitcher for the Eagles. Next one on the way, it's high, 2-0. Crockett batting in the 6th hole today for Coach Derek Bush. I think it's his 2nd year. This one's way high and outside. We saw some those when he was warming up earlier. A lot of balls went to the.
Oh, my fault. I'll bring it back.
Backstop. Abell. This one's high, and Crockett will draw the walk on 4 pitches. He'll go to first. Maddox Bradley, the senior third baseman, will step in for the Owls. I think coaching down at first base is, looks like Logan Vance, and Coach Bush down at third. Owls have 2 outs here as Abell throws it over to his first baseman, Colby Warner, but back in time is Crockett on the pickoff attempt. Bradley, left-handed batter, steps in. This one nubbed right at it, right over the first baseman's head. A CNI single for the Owls. It was nubbed right over first baseman Warner. If he's playing in his regular depth there, no doubt he gets the easy play, but he was holding the runner and it was just nubbed right over his head. So Owls have got first and second with 2 outs here. As that first pitch is low, Evan King, the junior first baseman, steps in for Smith County, trying a 2-out rally. He got a walk and a single, kind of a CNI single. Crockett at second. Abell comes set. This pitch is on the inside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. Here in the bottom of the second, 2 outs. King, the junior, right-handed batter. Abell, this one's low. 2 balls and a strike. TJ Testa, batting in the 9 hole, awaits if King can get aboard. Abell takes his time. This one's hit out toward left field, and it's right at him. And that'll be the 3rd out of the inning. Fly out 2-7. So after 2 complete, Westmoreland 2, Smith County 0. You're watching NCTV. Welcome back. It will be Eli Shoulders, the right fielder, stepping in for Westmoreland. He is batting in the 9 spot. He's left-handed. Looks like he might possess a lot of speed. Collins, first pitch on the way, is fastball down the middle. No balls, 1 strike here, top of the 3rd inning. Westmoreland scored 1 in the 1st and 1 in the 2nd. Lead-off double, followed by a ground out, and then a sacrifice fly. Got 1 home, and then a solo homer by the pitcher Abell to begin the 2nd. That one's a strike, off-speed pitch on the outside half of the plate. No balls, 2 strikes. Eli Shoulders in defense mode, and it's grounded out to shortstop. Picks it up, throws it over in time for the out. Graber retires Shoulders. 6-3 on the putout for the 1st out of the inning. That brings up Landon Donahoe. He had a ringing double to begin the game, and then did come around to score the game's 1st run. So he'll try to get his 2nd hit as he hit it dead to center field. Collins off-speed pitch to Donahoe outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Top of the 3rd, 2-0 Westmoreland. Collins, the freshman pitcher. On the way, this is a fastball. 1 ball, 1 strike. One out here, top of the third. Glad to have you along for Smith County and Westmoreland. Collins, next one's ground out to Graber. Sunday hop, Graber throws it high, but pulling it down is King and tags him out. Heads up play by Evan King, the first baseman for the Owls, to get 2 outs. So Donahoe retired 6-3 as Austin Neal, the third baseman, will step in for the Eagles. They're wearing their gray unis with red numerals. No one up coming for Collins, two ground out, to the shortstop to begin this top of the third as Neal swings and misses on the Collins pitch. Next one upcoming, it's a curveball outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. 2 outs here in the top of the third. Collins another one. Foul tip into the mitt of Ty Martin. So it's 1 ball, 2 strikes for the third baseman for the Eagles. He grounded out his last time up to, that time he strikes out. Collins gets his 3rd strikeout of the game. All of them have been swinging. And after 2.5, the Owls trail 2-0 coming to bat. You're watching NCTV. And welcome back. We've got bottom of the third. TJ Testa steps in. He laces out into center field for a base hit. He gets by the center fielder. Testa's going to dig for 2, and I think he's going to hold up right there. So a single and an error on the center fielder out there will put Testa at second base with nobody out, top of the order coming up. And that's going to be Kylan Johnson, the junior left fielder, as the center fielder, which was Grant Lilly, had it bounce over his outstretched paw for the error. So Johnson grounded out to the shortstop his first time up and got a pinch runner. No, I'm sorry, Testa had a piece of batting equipment that he took off and sends back to the dugout. Johnson bunt gets down, Abell fields it, stumbles, picks up in time, so sacrifice bunt for Kylan Johnson, gets the runner to third with 1 out. I was trying to play a little small ball, trying to get on the scoreboard. So it'll send Bennett Gammon up, looking to get something in the green and get the Owls' first run home with TJ Testa at third. 1 out, bottom of third. This a wild pitch, and Testa's going to score from third. That ball was a curveball, and it just bounced over the head of the catcher, and a wild pitch gives the Owls their first run. Got 1 out here in the bottom of third, 2-1. Westmoreland still leads by 1 in this District 6 AA battle. Next one, Gammon lifts it to left field, but it looks like it's going to be down. Gets over the left fielder, and Gammon's going to be in there with a stand-up double. Left fielder Cade Perry kind of got turned around. So that's a double for the Owls. Ty Martin, who singled his last time up, steps in for the Owls. He is a catcher for the Owls. Got courtesy run for him by Claywell there a minute ago, but Claywell got thrown out trying to steal second base to end the top of the first. So 1 out. Owls trying to mount a rally, trying 2-1. Martin with a single could tie it. He grounds it back up the middle, and that's going to be a base hit for Ty Martin. And Gammon's going to hold at third. He had to wait and see if that ball got through by the shortstop. He did. Smart thing to do. Caden Powell in a great situation here, first and third, as Ty Martin will have a courtesy runner, and that's going to be Clavel. Let's see. It's going to be number 21, which is Wyatt Clavel. So, Owls got first and third, 1 out here in the bottom of the third. as the freshman Caden Powell steps in. A trail by run. That one's a breaking pitch that's high. Gammon scurries back to third. 1 ball, no strikes. 1 out. Owls with a fly ball in the green can tie the score. A Bell pitch. This one's low. 2 balls, no strikes. To Caden Powell, the freshman for the Owls. He's about 6'2", 6'3", about 236, if I remember right from the football roster back in the fall. Throw over to Claywell. And applying the tag was the first baseman Warner, but he was back in time. 2-1. First and third, a Bell once again. Pitch nubbed back out of play. And so that'll be a 2 ball and 1 strike count to Caden Powell, batting in the 4 slot for Smith County. Trying to at least get that runner home from third base to tie the score. Bottom of the third. Claywell once again draws the throw. A Bell over to Warner, not in time. Powell steps back in, left-handed batter. You're thinking Claywell going to take off. So a Bell. Really worried about Claywell over at first. Want to make sure he didn't get down to second and have second and third with 1 out. The single to put the Owls ahead. Bell once again, pitch is way high. And that's 3 balls and a strike. So Powell can be pretty selective here. He singled his last time out to right field, tried to stretch it into double, and was thrown out by the right fielder, Eli Shoulders. This one's a little bit low, and that's going to load the bases for the Owls with Hudson Graber, the shortstop, senior shortstop, stepping in for Smith County. Graber, his last time out, or last time at bat in the 2nd inning, grounded out to the second baseman. Bases loaded for the Owls. 1 out, bottom of third. A Bell comes set. Pitch a little bit high. Gammon's at third. At second is Ty Martin and Caden Powell at first. Not Ty Martin. Claywell is down at second. He's a pinch runner, or Kersey runner, I should say. This one's high and outside. So, Owls, Graber in great shape, senior shortstop. 2-0 the count. Bell got to come to him right here. Doesn't want to go 3-0. This one's low and inside, 3-0. One more wild one, and the Owls will tie it on a walk. 1 out here in the bottom of the third. The Owls are rallied for 1 run, looking for more. Westmoreland looking for an inning-ending double play. A Bell comes set. This one's right down the middle. 3 balls and 1 strike. Still can be selective, can Graber, the senior shortstop, batting left-handed. 1 on the way. This one's a swing and a miss. So it's going to be full count for Graber as 1 out. We'll see if Coach Bush chooses to start the runners. Full count, 1 out. Bases loaded for the Owls. A Bell battling back. This one's hit out to right center field. It's shallow. I don't know that Gammon's going to be deep enough. Center fielder grabs it, and Gammon is going to score on a tag up. So sacrifice fly. Graber got just enough of it to get it out to center field and ties the game at 2 as Bennett Gammon races home from third. So that'll bring up Ethan Crockett. Also Claywell tagged up, moved over to third, so it's first and third, 2 outs. Bottom of third, we're tied at 2. Crockett walked his last time up on 4 pitches. This one a little bit high, so it's 1-0. Next up for the Owls, if Crockett can get on, is Maddox Bradley, the senior third baseman. Crockett, a senior second baseman for the Owls. A bell comes set. Pitch, nub, foul up the third base side. Going to set the count at 1-1. 2 outs here, top of the bottom of the third. Smith County and Westmoreland in a 7-inning affair. Crockett steps back in, right-handed hitter. Taking it over is Powell, and Powell steals second base as he'll get second and third. Claywell down at third, so gives 2 runners in scoring position. A bell comes set. Crockett, a base lick, can give the Owls a lead. This one's a breaking pitch high. Scoreboard has 3-2, but that's incorrect. It should be 2-2. Testa has scored and Gammon has scored. Johnson was out on a sacrifice bunt and Graber out on a sacrifice fly. This one tattooed right at the shortstop. He boots it and Crockett's going to get on. Good job there by Powell to get in front of the shortstop, shield him away from the ball. So on the error, the Owls will get Claywell home. So moving over to third is Caden Powell. So it's first and third. Owls lead it 3-2 here in the bottom of the third. Owls first lead of the game. Westmoreland led 1-0 after 1, 2-0 after 2. Head coach for Westmoreland coming out talking to the home plate umpire. I don't know if his man was not shielded, but there was no contact, no interference there. Kyle just good job of seeing what was going on. Evidently he's satisfied. I don't know that he's happy with the call, but he's going back to the third base dugout. 3-2, Owls on top. Runners on first and third is Maddox Bradley, the senior third baseman, steps in for Smith County. A bell. Give up 3 runs this inning. Of course, this last one, well, there's been 2 errors in the inning. One on the center fielder on a single and the other one there on the shortstop. So it's 3-2 Owls. Bradley steps in. No balls, 1 strike. This one is strike on the outside half. No balls, 2 strikes. Bradley, a left-handed senior third baseman for Smith County. Bell trying to prevent further damage. Crockett looking to get in the rundown, and the Owls are going to score a run. As then they drop the ball, does the first baseman. So that's going to be an error, and the Owls get a run. So an error as the first baseman drops it, which allows Powell to get home. Crockett trying to get in a rundown. Owls tried to steal a run, and it's 4-2. That is the 3rd error on Westmoreland in the inning. Four-2 Owls. Bradley high down the third base side, and making the catch is Westmoreland, and that is going to be the third baseman is Austin Neal to retire the side in foul territory. 4-2 after 3 complete, and you're watching NCTV. Welcome back. Top of the 4th inning. Westmoreland steps in with Cooper White. He is the second baseman to begin this 4th inning, and for the first time today, Westmoreland trails after committing 3 errors in that bottom of the 3rd. That pitch is laced out into right center field. Gammon tracks it down. White going for second, and he's there. Good hustle there by Cooper White. He doubled into the right center field gap, and on his horse the whole way, he'll pick up the double. So leadoff double for Cooper White. He hit a sacrifice fly his first time up. Now steps in Connor Johnson, the DH, for the Eagles, trying to cut into this Owl lead. A single could do that. Collins gets a pop fly, and it's going to go out of play. Nope. Goes off of King. He reached over into the Owls dugout, but he could not come up with the catch. So no balls, one strike. Connor Johnson, the DH, he grounded out his last time up to third baseman Maddox Bradley. Owls on top 4-2, trying to sweep, not sweep because they played 3 times now. I'm used to them playing twice. Trying to win the first 2 games out of the 3 from the Eagles and keep their record unblemished. It can move to 5-0 with a win today. Collins, freshman, settle down as they'll try a pickoff attempt, but back is Cooper White for the Eagles. Down on the lower field today, we've got the Smith County girls tangling against Red Bowling. Smith County girls pulled out a dramatic 9-8 victory yesterday as they had the bases loaded twice. Did Upperman in the top of the 6th and top of the 7th, and Chloe Collins shut the door to get the 1-run win for Smith County, who improved to 2-1 for Connie Jones Holder, the head coach for Smith County. This one is a strike on the outside half, and I believe it's a full count. No outs here in the top of the 4th for Westmoreland, trying to erase some of this 2-run deficit. Collins, curveball a little bit high, and so that's going to be a walk. So that's going to be first walk of the day for Westmoreland. They've got a double and a home run to their credit thus far. Collins has struck out 3 batters. Giving up 2 doubles and a home run, 3 hits so far. Collins pitch over the outside half is Kyler Bell, who homered to left field his last time up to lead off the 2nd inning. Collins next one, curveball, and it's outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here, no outs here in the top of the 4th. Westmoreland got runners at 1st and 2nd. Connor Johnson at 1st. Cooper White, who doubled to begin the inning. Next one is hit into right center field, and that's going to be in the gap. That's going to score at least run as Powell gets it, and he'll throw it, and nope, they do not score. But the bases are loaded as Powell fired it in. So trouble brewing for the Owls as the head coach Bush going to the mound to talk with Case Collins and the infield. We'll take a break. Owls are up 4-2, no outs here in the top of the 4th. Westmoreland got the bases loaded, and you're watching NCTV. Welcome back after the mound visit from Coach Bush. It's bases loaded, nobody out for the Westmoreland Eagles. So they've got a double, a walk, and a single to load the bases with no outs. Collins pitch a little bit low to Kobe Warner. Kobe Warner grounded out to second base. Ethan Crockett, his last time up. That came first out of the 2nd inning. Here we are on the top of the 4th. Big spot for Warner. He's in the number 6 hole as this ball is low. 2 balls, no strikes. So Warner is the first baseman for the Eagles. Owls need a double play or a strikeout. This one's on the outside half. 2 balls, 1 strike. Nobody out here in the top of the 4th. Westmoreland, a base hit away from possibly tying this one. Collins, next one. That's a hard hit ball by Warner way out in left field, and it's over the left fielder's head right at the base of the fence. It's going to score at least 1, and that will be all. So a long single by Warner to left field. Hit off the base of the fence. Owls did a good job getting it in, but it's still a 4-3 Owl lead as Cooper White, who had a leadoff double, scores from third. Cade Perry struck out his last time up, steps in. He's batting in the 7th hole for the Eagles. Bases loaded, no outs. This one, swing and a miss. No balls, 1 strike. Owls trying to get 3 outs and preserve this 4-3 advantage. Give Westmoreland credit. They've got a single, a double. There's a ball hit out to shortstop. They'll get it to Crockett, fielder's choice. And that'll be all Smith County get. So 6-4 on the put out. Westmoreland did get the run home, Connor Johnson, from third to tie the game at 4 apiece. So runners now on first and third as a Bales over at third. Cade Perry at first on the fielder's choice. So Grant Lilly, the center fielder, checks in for the Eagles. I'll try throw over to first, not in time. I was looking for an inning-ending double play as Westmoreland has got 2 runs here in the top of the 4th to tie it at 4-all. This pitch nubbed right back up the middle, could be a double play. Graber steps on the bag to first in time for the double play. So the Owls get out of the jam. We're tied at 4, and you're watching NCTV. Welcome back, bottom of 4th inning, as we are tied at 4. Stepping in, Evan King. He flew out to left field his last time up for the 3rd out of the 2nd inning. This first pitch is low and away. Westmoreland in the last inning had 2 runs on 3 hits. So King steps back in for the Owls and takes one high and tight. 2 balls, no strikes. 3 errors in the last inning cost Westmoreland 4 runs. This one for a Bale, just a little bit low. It's going to be 3 balls and no strikes. No outs here in the bottom of the 4th. This one looks good and is good right now on Broadway with the fastball from Kyler Abel, the pitcher for the Eagles. 3-1 you count. This one is on the outside half. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Good job by the pitcher there, or by the catcher, which is Jackson Patton, framing that. And this one's short and bounces in front of the Pates. So we've got a walk for the Owls. The Owls have 2 walks on the day. Crockett walked in the 2nd, and Powell walked in the 3rd. So that's the 3rd free pass for the Owls as TJ Testa, who singled and moved to 2nd on an error by the center fielder his first time out, and then did come around to score in the last inning. He did lead off the 3rd for the Owls, as the Owls sent 8 men to the plate in scoring those 4 runs. This pitch a little bit high, so a Bale at 1-0. No outs here in the bottom of the 4th here in Carthage, Smith County and Westmoreland. Owls won yesterday 13-5, and that one by Bale is high. 2 balls, no strikes. And here goes the Westmoreland coaching staff going to talk with a Bale. 2 balls, no strikes, no outs. Man on first for the Owls. We're tied at 4. You're watching NCTV. Welcome back. Westmoreland makes the visit, trying to settle their pitcher, Kyler Bale, down. Had a walk and now 2 straight balls to Testa in the 9 hole for the Owls. This one's right now in the middle. 2 balls, 1 strike. No outs here. Didn't know if Testa would square the bunt, try to get Crockett as the top of the order coming up for the Owls, and Kylan Johnson next. And this one's high. 3 balls and a strike. Testa can be very, very selective here. No outs. Testa, the junior designated hitter for the Owls. This one's nubbed out of play. So, find a new baseball, and it's going to be full count. At first base is Evan King. He does play first base for the Owls. He reached on a walk. Top of the order coming up, and this one's low. Good eye there by Testa. So back-to-back walks for the Owls. So Johnson grounded out his first time, sacrifice bunt to move Bennett Gammon to third with 1 out. He eventually scored. So Johnson, the junior left fielder for the Owls, steps in. Runners in first and second. Of course, 1 in second in scoring position. This one, ball is low. Good job there by the catcher to dig it out. That's Jackson Patton for the Eagles. Save the runners from moving up 90 feet, excuse me. A bail. Next one, good bunt by Johnson right out in front of the plate. A bail goes to first base in time. So the second sacrifice bunt for Johnson gives the Owls runners at second and third. Good job, Johnson, to get the runners moved over, giving the Owls a chance to go back ahead with Bennett Gammon, the center fielder, coming up. He's got a ground out to second and a double to his credit, 1 for 2 today. This one's outside. He is a sophomore for the Owls. Owls trying to push the runner from third, Evan King, home. Base hit could score 2. This one's high, 2 balls, no strikes. On deck, Ty Martin. Ty Martin, 2 for 2, 2 singles so far for the Owls. Will be in the on-deck circle. He's the junior catcher. A bail comes set. This one's low, bounces out in front of the plate, so it's 3-0. A bail who walked to begin the inning, and then Johnson bunts him over to get the runners in scoring position. So, a bail, 3-0. And this one's high. Loads the bases on 4 pitches. So, Owls have got there. Now the Westmoreland head coach going to the mound. He may be looking to make a pitching change. Let's see what he does. Ty Martin's at the dish. He's got 2 singles, and they are going to make the change. So, with 1 out here in the bottom of the 4th, pitching change for Westmoreland for a bail. As we'll get you the number of who's coming in when we return. We're tied at 4. You're watching NCTV. Welcome back. The shortstop coming in, Landon Donahoe, to pitch for the Eagles. A bail goes 3 1/3 innings, gives up 4 runs. 3 errors hurt his cause, no strikeouts, and 5 walks. He's walked 3 this inning. Bases are loaded. Ty Martin at the dish. Owls tied at 4, 1 out, bottom of the 4th. This one is a little bit outside. Martin has 2 singles to his credit in his first 2 at-bats. Martin, junior catcher for the Owls. And this one's a little high and tight, 2 balls, no strike. Martin trying to be patient here for the Owls. Of course, he does have long ball potential. Donahoe comes set. This one's nubbed out toward third base, but it's foul. So runners return. King's down at third, Testa at second, and at first is Bennett Gammon. So Martin steps back in with a 2-1 count. Trying to break this 4-all tie. Of course, we play 7 innings in high school baseball. Owls won 13-5 in 7 innings at Westmoreland yesterday. Donahoe readies himself, looking in, gets the call, and swinging a miss from Martin. An off-speed pitch from Donahoe. 2 balls, 2 strikes. On deck for the Owls is Caden Powell. Martin steps out. Bottom of the 4th, 2-2. 1 out. As Donahoe in relief of a bail, trying to get out of a jam. Looking for a double play or a strikeout. Donahoe comes set. Throws it, and Martin hits it right at the center fielder. And they'll tag, and Martin's going to get the run home from third as King tags up. So sacrifice fly from Ty Martin gives the Owls a 5-4 advantage. So Caden Powell will check in. Neither runner from first or second advanced, but the Owls, courtesy of the 3 walks, do get the lead back at 5-4. Bottom of the 4th, 2 outs. So Martin officially 2 for 2 with the sac fly. Powell, he is 1 for 1. He has a single and a walk. And he'll swing it miss at the first offering from Donahoe for the Eagles. Landon Donahoe, the shortstop, came on in relief of Kyler Bell, who's now back out at shortstop. They just swap positions from pitcher to short. Next pitch outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th. Of course, we mentioned before, we do not have lights. It's an overcast day, so it'll get darker here than it normally does with no sunlight. Donahoe coming to the freshman. This one's away, and the Owls are going to take an extra base as the ball squirted away from the catcher, and moving it up to second and third is Gammon and Testa. Testa heads up base running there. Ball got away from the catcher, which was Jackson Patton, went up the third base line, and Testa saw the ball well and advanced 90 feet. Powell, runner down at third now. And he smokes it out to right field for a base hit. Should score 2 as Gammon's going to score easily. And Smith County puts 3 on the board, so they get the 2 RBIs from Caden Powell. So they kind of make that 3 walks. All 3 of those wind up scoring. That closes the book on a Bell. Give up 6 runs. Of course, only 3 of those were earned. The Eagles defense has hurt him. Stepping in for the Owls is Hudson Graber, senior shortstop, swinging a miss on the first one. Owls lead it by a count of 7-4. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th as Donahoe throws back over, keeps Powell close. Applying the tag was Colby Warner, the first baseman, not in time. Graber is 0 for 1 with a sacrifice fly back in the third to center field. This one, a breaking ball. Graber kind of offered at it, but didn't go. 1 ball and 1 strike. 2 outs. Owls taking advantage of the 3 walks in the inning. Graber, left-handed batter. Owls lead 7-4 here. Bottom of the 4th. And Graber's, this one grounded down the right field line, a foul ball. So Graber stepped back in. 1 ball, 2 strikes to the senior shortstop. Batting in the 5-hole. This one's nubbed back over the fence, out of play. So Donahoe trying to get the Eagles out of the inning as the Owls scored 4 in the third, now 3 in the fourth. They were behind 2-0. They lead it now 7-4. Donahoe back over to first, not in time, trying to get Powell. Thought he might be leaning the wrong way. Don't let Powell's size fool you. He can move. Graber. This one, they threw it. A breaking ball went behind him. Didn't hit him. Asking the home plate umpire, but moving down to second on the wild pitch was Powell. So he's at second. Graber in at the dish. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Bottom of the fourth. Donahoe with the pitch. And there is a strike 3. First strikeout of the game. And that's third out of this fourth inning. After 4 complete. Owls lead at 7-4 in this District 6 AA batter. You're watching NCTV. Welcome back. We go to the top of the 5th. Case Collins on the mound for Smith County. Stepping in, the number 9 hitter, Eli Shoulder, grounded out his last time up to Hudson Graber at shortstop. And this one's going down the left field side and foul out of play. Over the fence, Johnson takes a look, but it's out of play. No balls, 1 strike, top of the 5th. Of course, we play 7 innings. Of course, that is daylight permitting. I guess I should preface that. There's no lights here at Owl Field. We started pretty close to 4 o'clock. Collins blows one by Shoulders there. Collins has 3 strikeouts so far in this one. Got a double play to get out of a jam in the last inning, as Westmoreland did score 2 runs on 3 hits. Shoulders, right fielder, left-handed, swing and a miss. And there's going to be a strikeout. That's the 4th of the game for Case Collins, the freshman right-hander. He gave up a run in the first, run in the second, and then pair of runs in the fourth. It's 7-4. So Landon Donahoe, the shortstop, and that's going to hit the Donahoe, so he'll be hit by pitch. He's was at shortstop, and he is the pitcher now, as he's hit by the first pitch by Collins to give Westmoreland a base runner. Runner on first. Al's got a double play a minute ago, looking for another one here. And this one is bounded by the first baseman to right field. So that's going to be a single. So that gives them runners on first and second with only 1 out. And Cooper White, who hit a double to begin the 4th inning and scored, steps in for the Eagles. He's batting in the 3-hole. And this one's fouled off. Had a good swing, fouled straight back. So Collins trying to get out of the jam, first and second for the Eagles. They've got Donahoe at second, Neal at first, and this one is a curveball for a strike. No balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, top of the 5th. Al's trying to record these final 8 outs and grab a second District 6 AA win. Collins, freshman. It's a hit on a rope right out to Powell. He snags it. He's going to fire to third and safe. Good throw there by Powell, but a hustling Donahoe makes it to third after the fly out. White tagged it, but snagging it for the second out of the Cooper White ball was Caden Powell, the freshman. So Connor Johnson steps in. He's got a ground out in the first and a walk in the fourth. He did come around to score their fourth run. Johnson, the DH. They'll throw it back over to first base. Not in time for Neal, who dove back in. At third is Donahoe, looking to get home, trying to cut this Owl lead to 2. This one's a little bit high. Stepping back in is Johnson. He's looking to try to cut into this Smith County lead. 7-4 Owls up. It's a curveball. It's nubbed foul. So it'll be 1 ball, 1 strike with 2 outs here. Westmoreland's head coach going through the signals down at third base. Sometimes in this situation, the runner from first tries to move, getting a run down and try to get a run home, but I guess being 3 runs down versus just 1, Johnson swings and misses. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Case Collins on the mound. He is a freshman for the Owls. And this one's lifted foul. Caden Powell is usually the Owls' second-day starter. Was in the Gordonsville game. That was the first 2 games of the year, but that's not the case here. As Mims went yesterday, so did Gammon. Curveball, strike 3, looking. So Collins gets the strikeout. 3 outs here. After 4.5, Owls lead it by a score of 7-4. You're watching NCTV. Welcome back. Ethan Crockett steps in for the Owls. He's got a walk. Back in the second inning and third inning, he reached on an error. He'll lead off the 5th. He's the senior second baseman for the Owls, batting in the 6th hole. First pitch by Donahoe, low and outside, 1 ball, no strikes, bottom of the 5th. Owls up 7-4. Owls trailed 2-0, then got 4 runs to go up 4-2. Westmoreland responded 4-4, and then the Owls get 3, and there's a ground ball foul up the left side. 1 ball, 1 strike to Ethan Crockett, the senior second baseman for Smith County. This one a little bit inside, 2 balls and a strike, as Landon Donahoe on the mound for Westmoreland. Kyler Abell. It's a swing and a miss by Crockett. No outs here in the bottom of the 5th. We do play 7 innings. Crockett trying to reach. 2 balls, 2 strikes, no outs. Donahoe on the mound. Outside target by the catcher. And this one's a little bit high. Catcher for Westmoreland is Jackson Patton. He's not batting today. He's the catcher, and the DH for the Eagles is Connor Johnson. This one's hit right at the shortstop. Abell picks it up, throws across in time for the ground out. So Crockett's out on the ground out, 6-3 for the initial out in the bottom of the 5th. So Maddox Bradley, the senior third baseman, bats left-handed. He is 1 for 2 today. He had a bloop single over Warner at first and then fouled out to the third baseman to end. There's a Bradley nubber out into right field, and it's going to drop for a single. So give second hit of the day. Didn't square it up, but it was placed perfectly. So Evan King, the junior first baseman, steps in for the Owls. He's got a fly out to left field and also a walk. In this one, he walked in the 4th inning to lead it off, and he came around to score. King, right-handed batter for Smith County. Somebody's got their lights out on in center field. I'm sure they just turned those off. So there's a strike from Landon Donahoe for the Eagles. They also got a runner on first. That's Maddox Bradley. They try to throw over, but not in time. One out here in the bottom of the fifth. Owls up 7-4. They had 3 runs in the bottom of the fourth to take the lead. There's a ball double play variety. Abell picks it up, throws not in time. So an error on Abell at shortstop. So the Owls, Evan King, safe on the error. Bradley at second. Don't know if he was thinking 2 or what, but that's the 4th error for Westmoreland today. They had 3 back in the 3rd inning when the Owls scored 4 runs. There's been 5 walks so far from Westmoreland. Of course, those came from the starter, Kyler Bell. Walks and errors kill you in baseball and softball for sure. So stepping in for the Owls, TJ Testa in the 9-hole, designated hitter. He is batting for Case Collins, the pitcher. Swinging a miss there by Testa. You got 1 out here with 1 out, runners on first and second. Bradley at second, King at first. This one nubs right back to the pitcher, gets it to Bell, over to first in time for the double play. So it's going to be the double play. And coach for Smith County coming down. I don't know that he'll win this argument. They've called a double play. And that'll be the end of 5. 7-4, Smith County on top after 5. Welcome back, top of the 6th. Case Collins has gone the whole way for the Owls. And strike coming in from Collins is stepping in is Kyler Abell for the Eagles. The ball's 2 strikes, the count. Top of the 6th, Westmoreland down its final 6 outs. Abell hit a home run and a singles. He's 2 of 2 so far today. He was at pitcher, now he's at shortstop. That pitch, a pretty good one, a little bit outside, according to the home plate umpire. 1 ball and 2 strikes. No outs here, top of the 6th, as the daylight diminishing. Collins, curveball, hits out in front of the plate. Martin blocks it. 2 balls, 2 strikes. To the number 5 hole hitter, Kyler Abell.
Okay.
This one, line drive, and it'll get down. So Abell's going to go 3 for 3 so far for the Eagles, leading them at the plate, as that is the 7th hit for the day, and Abell has gobbled up 3 of those, 2 singles and a home run. So to the dish will walk Kyler Abell. No, I'm sorry, Colby Warner. Abell's down at first. Abell been on 3 times. Warner 1 for 2 for Westmoreland. Takes a strike. Collins, second one, just a little bit outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Warner trying to start a rally for the Eagles. They lost yesterday's game 13-5 and trying to keep from dropping 2 in a row in as many days. And this one, as it's going to be out of play. Good hustle there by Martin to get over here to the screen to let his first baseman, King, know that it was out of play. 2 strikes on the first baseman for Westmoreland, Colby Warner. Bottom of the 6th, no outs.
Come on, Case.
Over at first base is Abell. Collins, curveball, hit out into right center, and it'll go and drop. Gammon was shaded over into left center. So back-to-back hits for the Eagles. Gives them first and second as Warner gets his second single of the day. So head coach for Smith County, Coach Bush, Derek Bush, walking out to the mound. We'll take a break. Owls up 7-4. No outs here in the top of the sixth. Eagles trying to rally. And you're watching NCTV. Welcome back. No outs. Westmoreland has got Cade Perry struck out in the second. Fielder's choice back in. And there's a foul ball from Perry. He's the number 7 hitter, trying to get the runners over into second, third with only one out. Owls have had a couple of sacrifice bunts earlier by Colin Johnson, which advanced runners who wound up scoring. This one, curveball, a little bit high. 1 ball, 1 strike. No outs here in the top of the sixth here at Smith County's baseball field, just right off the campus of Smith County High School. Collins, this one's a bunt, good one. And that's going to be trouble. Don't know the Owls can get anybody anywhere. It was a great bunt there by Perry as Bradley was back. And the bunt single is going to load the bases with nobody out. So we'll see if the Owls go to the bullpen. Maybe Caden Powell time. Let's see. Yep, the Owls, Case Collins going to go out. He finishes with 5 innings of work. We'll have a new pitcher, maybe Caden Powell, when we come back, as you're watching NCTV. Welcome back. We're in the top of the sixth. Caden Powell coming on in relief of Case Collins. Went 5+ innings, gave up 9 hits, 1 walk, 1 hit batsman, 4 runs thus far. As Powell, he's responsible for all 3 runners on. A bunt single and 3 singles begin this top of the sixth. Powell, pitch, fastball, off the mark. At the Grant Lilly, center fielder, batting in the 8 hole for Westmoreland. Powell, next one, a little bit low. 2 balls, no strikes. Powell, nowhere to put him. As Lilly, the number 8 hole, 0 for 2, grounded into a double play and struck out back in the second. This one's short. And Martin, oh, I don't know why shoulders, or not sure why Bell didn't come home. He had plenty of time, but didn't want to risk it, I'm sure, with the count being 3-0. So Powell in a hole here, 3-0, as Lilly looking to walk to bring home a run. Owls up 7-4 here in the top of the sixth. Powell, freshman, throws this one and it's off the mark, ball 4. So that is a RBI for Lilly in the 8 hole. So that brings home a run, cuts the lead to 7-5. Had some control issues as far as Powell in the season. So bases still loaded with Eli. Nope, that's a pinch. It's number 12 coming in for the Eagles, and I'll get you his name in just a minute. Batting for Eli Shoulders, who's 0 for 2 for the day. And this one's a strike. That is number 12, Hayden Trout, in hitting for Shoulders in the 9 hole. And there's a strikeout on 3 pitches. So a much needed strikeout for Caden Powell. 1 out in the innings. Owls still lead 7-5, back to the top of the order. Landon Donahoe hit by a pitch, grounded out, and doubled. So he's 1 for 2 for the day. Powell on the mound, trying to keep this Owl lead, and this one's a curveball in the dirt. Good job there by Martin to block that one up. 1 ball, no strike. as Landon Donahoe, who's been at shortstop, now at pitcher for the Eagles. And that was a outside half fastball from Caden Powell to get the count to 1-1. 1 out here in the top of the 6th. Bases loaded of Eagles. This one, swing and a miss from Donahoe. Strike 2. He's the leadoff man for Westmoreland. As we said, Westmoreland coming in 0-4. They went 0-3 in the Gulf Shores tournament last week and played Smith County yesterday for their only 4 games. The Owls are 4-0. Next one, pitch a little low and outside, 2-2 on the batter, Landon Donahoe. Powell looking for the strikeout or a ground ball. This one's swing and a miss. Big strikeout for Smith County there, Caden Powell. He brought the gas. So 2 outs as Austin Neal, third baseman, steps in. He's a single, a ground out, and a strikeout thus far. See Powell can put out the fire. This one a little low. Good job, Martins. Stop that one. Didn't want to let a free run here. Neal batting in the number 2 spot for the Eagles. Powell. This one's a strike right on the inside half, 1-1. 2 outs here in the top of the 6th. Owls trying to get 4 more outs and get the W. Looked like Seth Hackett calling the pitches for the Owls down there, as that was just straight gas. Woo. I don't know where that one's at. Neither does the Smith County fans or coaching staff or Caden Powell. It's 2-1. Guess a little low. Powell. Readies. And that one's the same place, and that one's a strike. Now Westmoreland saying, wait a minute. That pitch before that, a lot more strike than that one was. Squares the count at 2-2. 2 outs here in the top of the 6th. Caden Powell, the freshman, on the mound. 1 strike away from getting out of the inning with Smith County, and Powell, curveball, swing and a miss, strike 3. Big strikeout there for the Owls of Austin Neal, and the Owls leave them stranded. Still lead at 7-5 after 5.5. Smith County on top, 7-5. And you are watching NCTV. Welcome back. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Field is darkening for sure. Of course, the Owls just hoping for 6 more outs, 3 here in the bottom of the 6th, and then 3 in the top of the 7th to get their 2nd win in as many days over the Westmoreland Eagles and stay undefeated. I think the Owls play Friendship Christian tomorrow. And the first pitch to Johnson is a strike from Landon Donahoe. Looking quickly at the Owls' schedule, supposed to play. There's Johnson. He'll hit it out into left center for a base hit. Of course, Johnson has a couple of sacrifice bunts, and he gets his first hit of the day. Grounded out back in the first. He's 0 for 1, but he's on first base. Bennett Gammon steps in. Bennett has got a ground out, a double, and a walk, so he's 1 for 2 so far today. Left-handed sophomore, center fielder. Johnson close back at first, but got back in time of Donahoe throwing it over to Warner. Donahoe peers in. The catcher gets a sign, and Gammon looks at a strike. Bennett Gammon, sophomore, as we said, is 1 of 2 today. Ground out in the first, double in the third, and a walk in the 4th. Pitch over, and he's didn't get him. Gammon steps in, left-handed hitter, his sophomore. Johnson a short lead. And Gammon looks at a pitch outside from Donahoe. Glad to have you along, Smith County and Westmoreland. Westmoreland in their gray uniforms with red numerals. Smith County in their white pants and black shirts and white numerals. Here at home, Smith County won yesterday 13-5. Donahoe's offering a little tall. And I think that's going to run the count to 3-1. No outs here in the bottom of the sixth. Skies darkening. Lady Owls leading over Red Bowling in the lower field, and softball 11-0 in the fourth. Donahoe pitches over. Warner plies the tag, but Johnson back in time. Lady Owls looking to move to 3-1. Of course, they get, as they pass this time, it gets by Warner, and Johnson is going to stop. Ball gets by the third baseman, and Johnson is going to get into third base. So a couple of errors on the play there allows Johnson to get all the way to third. Nobody out. Gammon, trying to get him in with nobody out. Here in the bottom of the sixth, Owls on top, 7-5. They scored 4 in the third, 3 in the fourth. And this is going to be a strike on the outside half to run it full. Should be 3 balls and 2 strikes. Kind of trying to keep it in our head here because they've struggled on the scoreboard at times today. So, Donahoe, Landon pitching for the Eagles, and Gammon bangs it deep into center field, and it hits up against the fence, and that's going to be a double and a RBI for Bennett Gammon. The Owls lead it 8-5. Coming home easily is Kylan Johnson. It's going to bring up Ty Martin. Ty Martin, 2 of 2 today. He is a couple of singles and a sacrifice fly. So the errors have hurt the Eagles. That is several errors, 3, 4. That's 6 errors on the day for the Eagles. Donahoe pitching to Martin. It's outside. They committed 3 errors in the third. An error in the fifth and 2 errors here in the sixth for those 6 total. Martin steps in, hits this one sky high, and goes out of play. Right off the third base side. So Ty Martin, the junior catcher, steps back in for Smith County. Of course, he's a defeated Brave. His granddad, Jackie Martin, longtime store owner there in Defeated, right as you go into the park. See, Martin can drive home Gammon. This curveball is low and outside. No outs here in the bottom of the sixth. Owls on top by 8-5 count. Martin hammers it right back up the middle. Let's see if Gammon can score. They hit it right at the center fielder. And Gammon is going to score because he missed him on the tag. So give Ty Martin his 3rd hit of the day and a RBI. And the Owls lead it 9-5. Martin 3 for 3 along with a sacrifice fly. So 2 RBIs, and Clay will come in to run, courtesy run for the catcher, Ty Martin. You can do that with the pitcher or the catcher. Of course, the pitcher, Case Collins, is not in the lineup. They can do that for Powell now, as he is now pitching. He steps in. He has 2 singles and a walk thus far. tried to stretch a single into a double in the second inning and was thrown out at second. Had a walk in the third and a 2 RBI single in the fourth. Powell pitched out of a big jam there in the top of the sixth. This pitch is outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. Nobody out here in the bottom half of the sixth inning as the skies ever darkening. No lights here at Owls Baseball Stadium. Donahoe throws this one outside, 2 balls and a strike. Over at first base, as we said, is Claywell, the courtesy runner for the catcher, Ty Martin. Caden Powell's just a freshman. So Donahoe will toe the rubber. He's came in with 1 out in the fourth to relieve Kyler Abell. Donahoe throws this one, a little curveball or slider or something, and Powell swings through this one. Squares the count at 2 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out. Here in the top of the sixth, we had Johnson reach on a single, and then a couple of errors got him over to third, and then Gammon brought him home with a double, and then Martin brought home Gammon with a single. So the Owls have scored 2 runs in the inning to lead it 9-5. This one's outside, so the count goes full to Caden Powell. He is a freshman for the Owls. Left-hander looks, and there's going to be strike 3 and a strikeout for the out. First out. So first out of the inning, Powell on a strikeout looking. So to the line, or to the plate comes Hudson Graber for the Owls. Graber 0 of 2 so far. Ground out, sacrifice fly, and a strikeout. So Donahoe trying to limit the damage here in the sixth. The Owls have already scored 2. Landon started at shortstop. Tying his shoe there now. He's got 1 out. The Owls have a runner on first in the courtesy runner, Wyatt Claywell. Graber, left-handed. He is a senior shortstop. And he swings through this one. Claywell out. Nope, there's the ball dropped. Umpire has not made a call as of yet. He said the ball is dropped. So that's an error. That ball got there in time, but the second baseman dropped it. So that's the 7th error of the game by my records for the Eagles, because that was going to be out. He got the ball there in time, but applying the tag, he dropped the ball. So runner on second. Graber still at the dish. And he'll ground it foul by the first baseman. So we've got no balls, 2 strikes. Hudson Graber, we said 0 of 2. He had a ground out to the second baseman in the second inning, sacrifice fly in the third to the center fielder, and then struck out looking in the fourth. So Graber, senior shortstop for the Owls. And this one's curveball, and it'll squirt loose. Again, over is Claywell to third on the wild pitch. So 1 out. Owls have got a runner 90 feet away, trying to get their 10th run of the game. They lead it 9-5 here with 1 out in the bottom of the 6th. This pitch is low, goes between the legs. Claywell trying to score, and they say, nope, he got another tag. So the wild pitch will bring home Claywell from third. So that makes it Owls with 3 more runs in the innings. Of course, there's been 3 errors on the Eagles. Second time they've had 3 errors in an inning. 4. I think that's 8 for the game. I'll have to count. That's not a stat usually that runs that high. Donahoe to Graber. Graber foul right outside the first base bag. 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th. Donahoe peers in, and it's a foul ball as Graber gets a piece. At least 7 errors so far on Westmoreland. I'll check at the end of the inning and try to get the exact total. Donahoe trying to get the second out, and this pitch is away. So it was down 0-2, and now he is battled back to a full count. 3 balls and 2 strikes. And he'll nub it out towards second base. Picks it up, throws across in time to the first baseman for the second out for Graber, as the first baseman is Kobe Warner. Good play there by the second baseman. And that is that Cooper White? I think it was. It's getting so dark. It's kind of hard to see that. Second out, stepping in for the Owls is Ethan Crockett. Crockett walked, grounded out, reached on an error. So he's 0 for 2 on the day. He is the second baseman. Donahoe swinging a miss. 2 strikes on the senior second baseman for the Owls. Donahoe, curveball, it's high. 1 ball and 2 strikes. And there's a foul tip into the mitt. And I guess I was messed up on the count there. I thought that was an 0-2 count. It's a 2-2 count there, so I stand corrected. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th. Donahoe, curveball, and strike 3. Caught Crockett looking for the 3rd out of the bottom of the 6th. We go to the top of the 7th. Owls are on top 10-5. You're watching NCTV. Welcome back. Top of the 7th inning. Stepping in is Cooper White, the second baseman. Westmoreland trying to get 5 runs against Caden Powell, who's in line to get the save. He can get 3 outs here. His first pitch, a curveball in the dirt. Connor Johnson on deck. Cooper White has a sacrifice fly in the first, a double in the 4th, and a fly out to right field in the 5th. He is the number 3 hitter for the Eagles. That ball is grounded foul. Bradley picked it up right outside the third base bag. 1 ball, 1 strike. No outs here in the top of the 7th. Owls trying to put the wraps on their 5th win of the season. Off to the best start in quite a while for the Owls. If they can get this one secured, they'll be 5-0 and 2-0 in the district. Powell throws the heat, gets the strike on the outside half. He is bringing that one in there pretty fast, Mr. Desmond. Is the freshman, Caden Powell. 2 strikes on White. This one, a curveball in the dirt. Martin blocks it up. Good job there by Cooper White to stop it with his right foot. Kicked it back to Martin. As it's 2 balls, 2 strikes. No outs here. Top of the 7th. Powell, this one's low and outside, full count. Well, the last thing, if you're a Smith County fan, that you want right now is a free pass. Up by 5 runs here, trying to get 3 outs. You're just wanting strikes. If you're an Owl fan, and Westmoreland looking to lengthen the game. And there is a strike 3 on the outside half, as that's going to be the 4th strikeout, as he came on and got 3 after Collins gave up 3 singles. And then there was a walk by Lilly, and then it was strikeout, strikeout, strikeout to end it in the 6th to snuff out any more scoring chances for the Eagles. 1 out here in the top of the 7th. Owls 2 outs away from moving to 2-0 inside the district. Of course, only 4 teams in the district: Westmoreland, Cannon County, Watertown, the defending Class AA champion, and Smith County. This one's a little bit high. Of course, the way they do that is on Monday, you play at one locale, and then the next day at the opposite. So you play back-to-back days on Monday, Tuesday in your district games. Of course, they are playing for a 3rd time this year, where they play on a Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday against the 3 other opponents. Powell gets a call on the outside half for a strike to Connor Johnson. Connor Johnson 0 for 2. He's got a strikeout, a walk, and a ground out back in the 1st inning to the 3rd baseman. He is the cleanup hitter for the Eagles. Looking for his 1st hit, and there's a strike on the outside half. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out here in the top of the 7th. Owls lead at 10-5. Won yesterday 13-5. Owls got a big win last Thursday at Class 4A, Murfreesboro, Oakland, 4-1, and once again, Powell goes to the gas and gets his 5th strikeout. They've had 5 outs since Powell came in. Of course, some people thought he may get the start today, but Collins got it. He went 5+ innings, gave up 9 hits, 5 runs, 1 walk, 1 hit batsman, and he struck out 5. Trying to finish things up. So Powell, curveball in the dirt, 2-0 to Kyler Bell. He homered earlier on Collins to left field, solo shot to begin the 2nd. He is 3 for 3 on the day, leading the Eagles in offense. He's got 2 singles, single on the 4th, single on the 6th, and a home run in the 2nd. This one nubbed out in front of the plate. Martin gets it, throws it in time to first base to end the game. So the Owls win it by a final of 10-5 here in Carthage to improve to 5-0. That's the 3rd out. I want to thank Desmond, doing a great job as always. And we want to thank coaching staff for Smith County and Westmoreland. Did get the lineups. Owls improved to 5-0, 2-0 in the district. Westmoreland drops to 0-5 and 0-2 in district play. It's the 2 teams shaking hands, and it got dark on us, but we got it in, thankfully. And stay tuned. Go to North Central TV. This thing will be on Thursday, Saturday, and next Tuesday at noon and 6 for the replays of these games. Good luck to Westmoreland and Smith County the rest of the way as the Owls win it 10-5. Thanks so much to our fine sponsors. And for Desmond, I'm Terry Collins. Good night from Smith County High.